"'Twas just such a day as this that Mr. Lion lost his wool," remarked Uncle Remus to the little boy. "Mr. Man took a notion that the time done come for him to have a hog killing, and him got him a big barrel and filled it half full of water from the big springs. Then he piled up about a quart of wood, and as he piled he put rocks twixt the logs, and then he sawed the wood after at both ends and in the middle. 'Twa'n't long 'fore they had the hogs killed, and everything ready for to scrape the har off. Then he took the red-hot rocks what he put in the fire and flung 'em in the barrel where the water was, and 'twa'n't long, mon, 'fore that water was ready for the bile. Then they took the hogs one at a time and soused 'em in the water, and time they took 'em out, har was ready for to drap out by the roots. Then they'd scrape 'em with sticks and chips, and they ain't leave a har on 'em. Well, by and by, they had all the hogs killed and cleaned, and hauled off, and when everything was as sittin' in, old Brer Rabbit stuck his head out from behind a bush where he'd been sittin' at. He stuck his head out, he did, and looked all around, and then he went where the fire was, and tried for to warm hisself. He ain't been dar long, for here come Brer Wolf and Brer Fox, and then he got busy. He say, "Hello, friends, howdy and welcome. I'm just fixin' for to make a warm bath like Mr. Man give his hogs. Won't you jine me?" They say they ain't no hurry, but they helped Brer Rabbit put the hot rocks in the barrel, and they watched the water bubble, and by and by, when everything was ready, who should walk up but old Mr. Lion. He had a mane from his head plumb to the end of his tail, and in some places it was so long it drug on the ground. That what make all the creeturs feared him. He growl and ax 'em what they doin'. And where Brer Rabbit tell him, he say that's what he's long been needin'. How does you get in? "Des back right in," says old Brer Rabbit, says he, and with that, Mr. Lion backed in, and the water was so hot he tried for to get out, and he slipped in plumb to his shoulder blades. You could believe me or not, but that creetur was scald so that he hollered and skeered everybody for miles around. And when he come out, all the wood drapped out, except the bunch you see on his neck and the little bit you'll find on the inner of his tail, and that'd have come off if the tail hadn't a slipped through the bunghole of the barrel. With that, Uncle Remus closed his eyes, but not so tightly that he couldn't watch the little boy. For a moment the child said nothing, and then, "I must tell that tale to Mother before I forget it." So saying, he ran out of the cabin as fast as his feet could carry him, leaving Uncle Remus shaking with laughter.